Hello friends and enemies, welcome to or back to Happy Pronounced Me. Isabel here with a try a chapter for you. So I have a netgalley problem, we've discussed this, I've admitted my shame. Some things come out during this. It's okay. I'm okay, it's gonna be fine. Basically, I have 26 arcs for 2026 already. That's wild. That is absolutely a wild number. So then I removed duplicates and ebook copies, so some I have audio and ebooks. And some I've already tried. So that put us at 21 arcs for 2026. I think that includes the one I got during filming of this project. So 21. Unlike my usual try chapters, I'm just gonna take you through each one of these. I'm gonna read the first chapter of every arc I have. We're gonna see what I think of it. And I don't know that we're gonna yes, no, maybe anything. You're gonna know if I DNF or I say something's not for me. But for the most part, I think the plan is just gonna be me reading these and making choices. That's terrifying. But yeah, I'm making choices as far as if something is something I want to read or not. If there's any surprises that I'm I don't want to read this actually. Or, who knows, a content note reveal that I didn't have leading into the book. I haven't had that. I don't think I really have that in the arcs, but I did have that recently with a new release I was excited for. So that was a fun time. A very, very fun time for me. But yeah, so things like that. We're going to just go ahead and dive into this project where I read all of these chapter ones and kind of talk to you about them and how I'm feeling. So let's go do that, and I will talk to y'all in a little bit at the end. All right, our first try chapter is from January 6th. It is Drive Me Crazy by Lizzie Dent. This is a new F1 romance. She is the principal for the team, and it is a failing team. And he is a driver trying to get his bearings again, I'm going to say, from what I can tell from chapter 1. He is told he's been sold, traded, whatever you want to call it. Not sold sounds weird, but traded to another team to be their principal driver because that team has been without a principal. There was a wreck. He's had some struggles at the end of the year. So he went from one of the top teams to the worst team in the F1 league. And I just think that's an interesting setup. They have some chemistry / backstory, her and this guy. So I'm also curious about that because he's definitely surprised she's going to be the team principal, which means she runs the whole team. But also him finding out at the press conference and her finding out it's him at the press conference, I just think is going to lead for some interesting conversation. So there's enough tension here and stuff that I think I need to read more to decide if I'm interested in it. So it is staying on the TBR. I'm not really going to do maybes here. It's going to be either keep or DNF, or it's either yes or no's kind of this round because Peace is trying to hit the camera. Anyways, which again, I think makes sense. I think that it works for arcs. Arcs I try not to DNF without good reason. So yeah, I'm intrigued enough that I will be continuing this one and giving it more of a go than one chapter. But so far I'm at the very least very, very, very interested and curious about where we're headed and what's going on with this setup. So there's that. Anyways, on to the next one. Okay, our second book, oh god, The Fundamentals of Being a Good Girl by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone, came out January 13th. I wasn't sure I was going to like it after I read the prologue, and then I read the first chapter, and honestly, I'm very intrigued right now. I'm very intrigued. So our hero is 35 and she's 20. Our heroine is 26, first of all. So the age gap is not as big as you might think from the cover and the situation, but she and him hook up. And then she shows up to be the nanny. And I love the setup. I think this is going to be fun. That's the kind of thing I tend to enjoy. So there's that. I really love that he's this very buttoned up, put together professor. And his ex-wife and mother of his 3 kids is off on a program thing. So he's basically a single dad for the next 8 weeks. So he just really needs help to get through it, and he has a teen and then 2 twins that are in 1st grade. So yeah, I'm intrigued. The age gap is not as big as I expected. I did think it was gonna be a bigger age gap than it is. I'm not saying it's not an age gap, but it is not what I thought it was gonna be. So very excited to continue. I will report back when I do read it all. Okay, I just DNF'd Rook and Rebel by Kate Crew. This was a read now at one point I picked up. And I saw it was compared a lot to Lights Out apparently and stuff like that. So I was interested. I was curious. And after one chapter, I was like, I do not like this writing style. I'm really not that interested in the hero. I'd be more interested in the hero's sister's story and romance. But that first chapter did zero to pull me in. So I am over here like, you know, that was a thing I read. I just am not intrigued. I really read it and I was like, oh, this feels like that thing where it's trying really hard to be a silly, like a dark romance, but also trying really hard to like, I don't want to say be serious, but like also not be like again, kind of that Lights Out vibe. And I think it can be done. And I think there are other authors that do it. But yeah, I just did not like ever that first chapter and I was like, this is not good. I'm not enjoying this. So DNF that. I don't know when it came out because I already sent in my DNF review, so I'll tell you in a second. It was published January 13th of this year. So there's that. On to the next one. I'm really trying to get through January today. So we'll see if I manage it. I still have quite a few left, but I'm attempting to get through all of January today. I just listened to the first chapter of Untethering Dark by Desiree M. Nicole. This is her Karina Press debut. The audio came out this year. It came out January. Oh my god. Well, you know, I keep leaving the page. You'd think I would learn, but I have not. It came out January 20th. I am intrigued by the first chapter. We talk about different kinds of witches and hags. Not enough information for me to be sold either way, but I'm intrigued enough. I would like to listen to this sooner than later. It feels very like a fun, scary time. So I am hopefully going to return to it soon. But yeah, I liked it. I think it's a fun read so far. Like, I mean, I'm one chapter in it. It was an 8-minute chapter. It's not very long. So yeah, I'm intrigued enough that I'm like, yes, we will be reading more. So there's that. Anyways, on to the next one. Let's keep this train moving because I am so close to done with January. I have 2 left. 3 left. I only have 2 or 3 left for January, so that'll be nice. Anyways, let's keep going. Okay, I just listened to the prologue on the first chapter of Through the Flesh. I'm intrigued by the story. I think it sounds really interesting. I'm really intrigued by this author. I love the art. She's writing gothic historicals. I think that's really cool. It's not something we get a lot of right now. And my only complaint is that it's a historical and I'm reading it and it's Teddy Hamilton. And I don't dislike this man's narrations at all. But it's Teddy and Teddy's voice is not a historical romance voice. And he's not changing it, okay? And that's okay. But it's throwing my brain. So this is a yes for now, but I may end up DNFing it later on. At least the audio, or I might just try to read the ebook, but I got an audio arc, so yeah. That's weird. That's a weird experience. This is not what I expected at all. So there's that. There's that. This came out January 20th, I believe. As far as the opening goes, we open at their wedding. It is an arranged marriage between a sculptor and a ballet dancer who he knows her family. I believe there's a kink in this from the content notes. So there's that. Marco's red. Anyways, yeah. Don't hate it. Don't love it. But don't hate it. I'm just really thrown by his voice as a narrator. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I found that really jarring. I didn't realize it was Teddy Hamilton. Like, I hadn't even looked. And I was like, what are you doing here? So, there's that. Yeah, I might do an audio DNF review and then try it as an ebook instead. But I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna give it a few more chapters and then I'll decide. But fascinating. All right, I'll be back. Okay. I just read the first chapter of Domcom. That was really silly and fun. I liked it. I am intrigued enough that I definitely want to read more of this. I really like Adriana Anders' writing, so I think I will deeply enjoy this book. But it is a very funny open. So our heroine is like stressing about this return to office situation and decides to go to a club, and it's a Dom speed dating night. And I have a feeling the person stressing her out is in fact in this club right now. I have a feeling, and I have a feeling they're going to match. I believe that is the plot if I recall correctly. Anyways, I found this really funny. She's very nervous to go in, and it's just like a funny, very human moment. I felt like her working the courage up to go into this club. So yeah, I enjoyed that a lot, and I am also like very, 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 very intrigued to see how this plays out. So it is dual POV. The next chapter is his POV. So yeah, there's also that. Anyways, on to my last January arc, and that feels really good. So this is also one that is most likely to keep, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Before we do that, Dom.com came out January 27th, so it is widely available now. Anyways, on to our next one, which is also a January 27th, so there's that. Oh my god, y'all, I'm getting beat up. She's over here. Don't look too close. We're healing an eye ulcer. It's a whole thing. Anyways, hi, hello. I read the first chapter of Heartsong, which had a prologue in the first chapter, and I am so intrigued. Thrilled to be here. It is... Jeez Louise. It is a gargoyle romance. Which, yes please, sign me up. It is a gargoyle romance. And they basically got stuck as stone statues after a spell from some druids. So I'm very intrigued to see how this plays out. It's more Welsh based. Also enjoy that. Let's get some Welsh representation on a book. Because I feel like a lot of fantasy books don't. I mean, at least Bromantasy. I don't feel like always do Welsh. I feel like a lot do Irish and Englandy stuff. Or like vague Scottish. Anyways. Enjoying that element. And yeah. I'm excited for it. I definitely am excited to do my vlog right now. Just for it alone. For 2026 releases for February. So, good freaking news. Anyways, on to the next one. Oh, this comes out. I didn't tell you the release date, did I? That might help. This comes out February 10th. So, it's already out by the time you watch this. That's the good news. Anyways, I'm going to go migrate downstairs to make some dinner. And all that jazz. I'll talk to y'all soon. Okay, I'm back upstairs. Listen, I think the rest of these updates are just gonna be right here because if I leave here, I stop reading. And I need to finish these. But we have updates. Okay. I've read more since we last chatted. I have read the first chapter of Still Into You, which I listened to on Spotify because I have Spotify Premium still right now. And I get a free audiobook. So I'm trying to use that service actually and take advantage of it. And I feel like Still Into You is one of those books that is going to really thrive on audio for me. And I really liked the first chapter. Our heroine is at a concert for a battle of the bands and her ex shows up. And I'm assuming the ex is the love interest. Basically they split while she was going to go back to school and like handle life stuff. So there's that. He was like high when they were in the sound booth together. I'm excited. I really like Erin Connor's writing. This hit the same itch her Unromanced did, her debut last year, so I'm excited. Okay, then I listened to the first chapter of Crown of War and Shadow, and I have zero thoughts. Zero thoughts. I know this is a fantasy romance. She seems to be like really hated in the town, but she also does a lot of things with helping the town people with medicine and stuff. So like that's interesting. And it looks like at some point she's going to make a deal with a mercenary. So we'll see how this goes. But yeah, the first chapter for me was just fine. I have nothing of note right now in it. I will be reading it in the vlog. This one comes out February 17th. Still Into You came out February 10th. So there's that. On to the next one, which is our first Scarlet Press title. Okay, we've officially entered March releases. So The Dark Lord's Guide to Dating and Other War Crimes comes out March 3rd. I've read the first chapter. I'm not mad at it. It seems a little more tongue-in-cheek than the book I don't like, which is the the assistant to the villain books. So there's that. I, for the most part, am intrigued. It's either a book I feel like this is one of the ones I'm either gonna read it and love the humor in it, or I'm gonna DNF it by the time I hit 20%, if that, because it does not. There's just a high likelihood either way of this happening. You know, like it could really, really go either way. So there's that. Basically, they planned the kidnapping now. So I'm intrigued to see where this goes. I will be reading this in a vlog in April, where I read all the Scarlet Press books that are coming out. And I think the last one comes out April 28th. So sometime in April, I'm going to put the vlog up. So this one comes out first, and then the other ones are like in between. So we'll see what I think. For now, curious, not sold. Okay, Unbound comes out April 7th, so we're finally in April. I did skip This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me because I've already read a chapter of it and a try chapter. Unbound is the next book in the Peyton Corinne series that I adore. They're very emotional college romance, college hockey romances. And I can already tell this one's going to be a gut punch. I'm not sure when I'll read it. I will read it before it comes out, but I'm nervous, to say the least. Because again, I know it's going to be a lot. There's just no way it's not. But I'm intrigued because these are characters we have seen over and over in the other books. And in particular, we're getting a bit of a redemption for a character that we've seen as less than ideal, we'll say. And I love that, especially for a heroine. So we'll see how this plays out. I really enjoyed it. I love Peyton Corinne's writing. I find her books very engaging and quick to fall into. So nothing new here with that one. Okay, so I just read chapter 1 of The Escape Game by Marissa Myers and Tamara Moss. This also comes out April 7th. We're almost through our April 7th. And I'm intrigued. It is a young adult murder mystery set in an escape room themed game show. So I'm very intrigued by that setup, obviously. I think that sounds fun. I don't want to say what's revealed at the end of chapter 1, but we are, unsurprisingly, dumped right in to the story, and I'm intrigued. I think it'll be a really interesting read overall. I think it will be fun to see how it unfolds. It's also going to be a quick read. It might be something I read soonish. I kind of have some things coming up where I was like, that might be a fun option for me. For now, I'm at least intrigued. And I do tend to love a young adult murder mystery, thriller, horror, any of that. Like, that tends to be what I read in young adult over romance. So there's that. On to the next one, our last April 7th release. Then we got a bunch of April 14th. I don't understand how there are this many in April. I don't know what happened, but here we are. Okay, Stay a Spell is out April 14th. I'm trying to get another one to down. There it goes. Okay. One of the books wouldn't download, so we're going to go back to April 7th after this. But anyway, Stay a Spell out April 14th. I just read the first chapter. I quite enjoyed. This is really cute. So our princess is like, you don't want to be a princess. This is a terrible gig. I just travel all the time. She's like, I traveled 30 weeks out of the year. And, like, this is miserable. And she talks about having her books, and she just finished her last book. So they're in this town, like, rolling in, and she's got to be ready for, like, in, like, an hour. And, she convinces her secretary to let her go in. And she runs into the bookstore at the end of this chapter because she finished her romance that she read about a sheep shepherdess, and an air pirate. So, you know, I'm intrigued. This sounds cute. The writing was fun. It was a very engaging first chapter. Anyways, I'm going to circle back to April 7th since that book finally downloaded. So I have now read the first chapter of Smoke and Scar, which comes out April 7th. Again, these are, I'll probably fix them in editing, but if I don't, they're out of order for a second. This is fine. I'm not sure what I think of it yet. It is more of an epic fantasy, so I feel like with those I need a few chapters to get a vibe check, so we'll see. Ideally, obviously, you'll be getting a vlog in April where I've read more of this, so we'll talk about it then. Okay, so I'm not even quite done with the first chapter of The Art of Loving You, but I wanted to give you an update. This comes out April 14th. This is the next book in Natasha Bishop's series, following Only for the Week. This is a second chance romance, and it is grief-filled. I am not sure that I am going to finish this chapter right now. This book follows the death of one of the characters' mothers, basically, and I don't know. I don't know right now if I want to read this. She has colon cancer. Anyways, they're reunited at this funeral, this ex. They also saw each other at the wedding. So I'm really curious to see where it goes, but I'm just not sure if I'm mentally in a place to read a book this themed on grief right now. So I didn't know this when I requested. I would have never requested it if I'd realized, which I feel bad about. So right now I'm going to put it on hold. It's going to be a, like, maybe later book. I might come around to it in a little bit, but I'm not there right now to want to read this because we are starting to go to a funeral and stuff, and I'm just not there. So on to the next one. Okay, I'm back here. Listen, I told you, I left here, I stopped the try chapter. I hate my brain. It's fine. Okay, so I read the first chapter of A Pack for Spring, and I liked it. I think this one starts a lot differently than the other two in this series so far. Our heroine is really interested in finding her pack. She's turning 29. Insert the Schmidt gif noise thing in here, you know. But she's turning 29, and she is going a town over with her friends who are also Omegas and their packs to do the Iranian New Year celebration at this town, and I think that's really cute. And we have one love interest at least already. We know there'll be more, but he's a beta, and there's some stuff with that, it seems, as far as him like actually being interested in her. But I really liked this intro. I actually liked this a lot more than the first book in the series by the same author, so I'm really intrigued to read more. But so far, I'm curious. I thought it was really fun. I thought it was fun to have a different culture's New Year celebration included, and I do believe the author is Iranian, so there's that. So yeah, I'm at the very least intrigued. I will be picking those up sooner than later. All right, y'all, I got this arc during this project, and I was like, well, we're still filming, so I guess we must insert. And that is West of Wicked by Nikki St. Crow. This is her Bramble debut, and I'm intrigued. This is a Wizard of Oz reimagining situation, inspiration, whatever you want to call it. I read the first chapter. I'm not sure right now. I do trust Nikki with these kinds of things, because I do think her Vicious Lost Boys, for the most part, was a fantastic series. I do think it fell flat at the end. I think it was just like a smidge too long. But this could be really good. I don't know. We'll see. I'm curious to see where we're gonna go. The opening is pretty strong, but then we are very quickly just with Dorothy and her aunt and uncle on the farm. So chapter 1 didn't give me a ton of info yet, but I'm intrigued enough that I will be continuing this one as well. So far we've only had one DNF this entire vlog, so that's good. But I will be back once I've read another one. I didn't give you dates for the last two, so there's that. This comes out April 14th. I think A Pack for Spring also comes out April 14th. We're in like a streak of the same day releases right now. So 3 more left. I will be right back with the next one. Okay, so I just finished Amid Cloud and Clouds of Bone. This is out. I've been the worst at this part of this video, so I apologize. This is out April 28th. Oh, this is the last of our April arcs. I really liked this first chapter. Our heroine, we meet her when she's like 11 and our hero is 15. And it's not a good confrontation, to say the least. He's Fae. He's Seelie and not the nicest. And I kind of love, like, I love that. Like, I like mean fairies, okay? I was raised on Fever, the Fever series by Karen Marie Moning, which had some of the nastiest Fae I've ever read. And things like that. So I always enjoy when Fae are kind of cruel, like truly cruel, and it makes sense. So I'm very curious to see where we go from here. Very, very curious. So we'll see what happens. For now, I can't wait to read more because this is in my Scarlet Press project. So that's a win. Okay, I just finished Evening the Score, which comes out May 26th. Wow, okay, so first I was like, oh no, I don't know if I can read this, there's dead dad stuff. But honestly, our heroine is unhinged. She is pissed because this man, who is a legacy NHL player, basically got signed to the team her dad played on, and his dad injured her dad on. I love it. So she's like 10 years post losing her dad. So I think it's gonna work for me. I think it's gonna be okay. She's pissed. So she has texted her uncle to get a job with the Minnesota Freeze, as they're called. So can't wait to see it. I do believe that job is her being the mascot from the cover. And oh my goodness, I cannot wait. Whew, that wind. Anyways, yeah, I cannot wait. I think that sounds so fun. Yeah, I'm pumped to read this. I'm holding on to it until I need to read my May arc, probably for Hardest Reading Challenge, because I only have 2 options for new releases that month right now, and I've got to find a June release, y'all. So if you have a June release suggestion, do let me know, because I got zero nada. Because yep, nope, that's July. Ooh, I'm gonna have to figure that out, aren't I? Because I need something coming out in June so that I can read it in May. It's April. Okay. Anyways, 1 book left, and that feels really good. So let's go read that book so I can start editing this video. Okay, I read the last arc. Who is she? I also just requested more arcs. We're not going to talk about it. I needed a June release, okay? I needed a June release. So I requested 3 June releases in hopes that I get approved for at least 1. We'll see. We'll see. I technically have 4. Oops. I have 4 June releases on request. It's fine. It's fine. Anyways, I read Bromantasy chapter 1. This was really interesting. I like the writing so far. I'm really just intrigued by how this is going to play out. I love this cover. Like, I am obsessed with this cover. So that's really the main appeal here. So I'm excited to read this one sooner than later. I think it's going to be a fun time. I've mostly seen positive reviews from the ARC readers, so that's a good sign, I feel like. Again, you're not always going to only get positives, but so far it's mostly been positives. This is out May 26th, if you're interested. This or the Evening the Score will be my May ARC reads for Hardest Reading Challenge, so I'm very, very excited for that and to have that option. But we're here. We did it. Anyways, I'm going to go throw it back to me talking to you, because I got to go put something on my face and film an intro, because y'all got me just existing out here in this whole video. So yeah, we're trying. We're not thriving, but we're trying. Anyways, I'll be back to talk to y'all in a few. Okay, I did it. I have quite a few arcs pending still. It's fine. I will own my shame. It's okay. But I'm okay with it, because honestly, at the end of the day right now, reading this kind of has me like, okay, maybe I do need to go pick up an arc here soon. These shelves are still a priority for me, but I need to, like, the next try chapter is going to be this maybe shelf I have going on over here. I'll put a picture in if you guys have suggestions for what books you would like to see from that maybe shelf, but that maybe shelf has to get snipped down quickly, as does my rest of my unreads, honestly, but that'll come with time, right? It'll be fine. Yeah, so I feel pretty good about this though. I think the fact that I only DNF'd one of these is a win. I'm super not sure if the Natasha Bishop is going to be too much for me yet, but I'm going to try to read more of it to decide. Otherwise, I feel like I left all of these pretty excited. I'm really, really excited for the February ARC video right now and the Scarlet Press video in April, because I'm honestly really intrigued by the intros of all three of those books that I read from Scarlet Press. They are, I think, all still available on KU right now, which is cool if any of them piqued your interest. But I feel like that one left me the most like, I'm curious to see what you're doing, especially with the recent acquisition that Scarlet Press just had. I'm curious with what they're doing, and I'm curious to see how these books go together, so to speak. Yeah, overall, a good time. Beneficial for me. I think this also helps me prioritize the 40 or so odd books I need to read this year to raise my NetGalley ratio to the dream ratio I have, which is over 80%. If I read all 26 of these, like, I'm in good shape, you know, like I will be right there on the cusp of being done. So that's a freaking win, but we'll see what I manage. Otherwise, I think that's it. Let me know if you have any 2026 ARCs or releases you're looking forward to, especially if they're in June and I can already request an ARC, or I could get an ARC for it potentially. And or you just think I would like it and it's short. That would be a win. That would be a big win for me right now, because I do really need a June ARC for my hardest reading challenge stuff. But yeah, let me know down below if you have a suggestion for any of that. And if you don't want to do any of that, you can leave me a horse emoji because of Bromantasy, and I have a feeling I'll be reading Bromantasy as soon as I can for that May ARC prompt date slot. So late March is probably when I'll be reading Bromantasy. So anyways, besides that, I got nothing else for you. I'll have links to all these for you down there, links to my friend anywhere on the internet that I am, and I will talk to y'all in just a few days in my next video. Bye!
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions. We'll get away. This is what we waited for.